साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्रचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि योगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै। 41 verse number 41। व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः एकेह कुरु नन्दन बहुशाखा ह्यनन्ताश्च बुद्धयो व्यवसायिनाम्। So Bhagavan is telling here, hey Kuru Nandana, O descendant of Kurus, one who is born of Kuru family, Kuru descendants, and he is a Kuru Nandana, Arjuna. Iha, as I told you, Iha indicates a seventh case. And so, Asmin Vishay, there are three types of seventh case. One indicates place, other indicates time, or it indicates subject matter, either. So, Asmin Vishaye, Asmin Kale, Asmin Deshe, like that. So, Iha means Asmin, here it is Asmin Vishaye, with reference to this subject matter. Which subject matter? Moksha. With reference to moksha, Vyavasayatmika Buddhihi, there is well ascertained understanding. Buddhihi means here understanding, well ascertained. There is a nishchaya regarding this thing. There is a regarding this moksha. Eka, it is one. We'll see what is it. Avyavasayina, of the indiscriminate. Buddhayaha, there are several notions, and he indicates indeed, means it is true. Bahushakaha, many branched, cha anantaha, innumerable. So means it says that with reference to this moksha, hey Arjuna, there is a single well ascertained understanding, and the notion, well, if one does not have that understanding, then the notion of those who lack this kind of a discrimination, that is in terms of Purushartha only, are many branched and innumerable indeed. So the vision of the Gita, it is all that you are free and you cannot be improved upon. So the seeker of Vedanta, first thing they drop is to improve upon. No need of improvement in terms of physical body, no need of improving our mind, no need of improving intellect, no need of improvement. I mean, I am free from the need of improvement. That is, he is the one who is adhikari of a Vedanta. That is what is meant by sadhan chatushtaya sampanna vyakti. I am free from the need of improving, free from the need of becoming. That's all. Then I will be able to appreciate what is. That's all. To appreciate what is, one has to become free from a sense of becoming. As long as you want to become, you are going to disregard what is. And therefore, it's basically, so this is a vision of Gita, that I'm fine. I'm all fine. That's all. The adhikari is, for this jnanam is this. I'm all fine. Irrespective of people evaluate us. Irrespective of. We let the people evaluate us in whatever they want to evaluate. We don't bother about it. So this is what is a qualification for Vedantin. So that then only you will be able to appreciate that you are already free. You are free from all limitations. Otherwise, that keeps on going. That is called samsara, a life of becoming or life of improving constantly. Any improvement will keep you from, any kind of improvement you do, you will be as far from the limitlessness. Always, whatever improvement you do, you are still very far from the limitlessness. And therefore, it is not like that the one who improves and the one who does not improve. The one who has improved, he has reached each closer to the limitlessness. It is never going to be like that. Never. Because limitlessness is limitlessness. By keep on improving and adding, and becoming. One day I will become limitless. Well, that is just a dream. It is not going to happen. Limitless is not, limitlessness cannot be arrived at by addition, by improving. Therefore, it is, this one becomes free from this process of becoming. That is called vairagyam. Vairagyam is nothing but the need for improving, need for becoming. Well, so this is the vision that I am already free and I cannot be improved upon, because limitlessness cannot be improved upon. Can never be improved upon, and therefore, anyway, so I am already a Param Brahma, and that is the knowledge I have to gain, that I am limitless, I am free, I don't have any kind of boundaries, I don't have any kind of limitations, I don't have any kind of imperfections, and this is the knowledge, well, that liberates us. That is called moksha. To gain it, definitely one should find a teacher and ask for the knowledge. And in spite of availability of such teaching, one should ask for the knowledge. That is there. Na prushtam kasyachit bruyat na cha anyayenapi pruchhatah. This is being told to a jnani person. One advice has been given by the scriptures to the jnani. Na prushtam kasyachit bruyat. Na prushtam. If it is not asked to you, don't reveal this nature of Atma, etc. Don't give knowledge. Nacha anyayenapi pruchhatah. If somebody is asking you with a different intention, anyayena means with a different intention, in order to evaluate your knowledge or in order to corner you or any kind of a thing. Well, he doesn't have that jignasa or he doesn't have even desire for moksha, etc. To such a person also, you are not supposed to impart any knowledge. And then if nobody asks, then what jnani should do? Well, jadaval lokam acharet. He has to remain like a jada. Jada means like a ajnani. He should keep moving in the society as if he is a totally ignorant of the things. That is advice has been given to a jnani. So definitely one should find a teacher, and he should, and that to vidivata, he should ask in a proper way, the proper language, proper, a chesta of the body, proper, and all these things. He has to show his sincerity. Shraddha, everything. And then only a teacher should impart the knowledge. All this is taught, given, and that is called Guru Upasadanam. Guru Upasadanam means approaching the teacher. Approaching the teacher includes all these things. Anyway, so in spite of the availability of such teaching, however, there is no guarantee that that person will gain the knowledge, because the place where the knowledge takes place may not be ready. And so knowledge has to take place in the mind, and it should be mature. Physically, one become mature even just by eating and doing some exercise, and you become mature physically. But this adulthood in terms of mind has to be initiated through Karma Yoga, etc. And the Karma Yoga makes your mind adult. And so, and that once it becomes adult, the knowledge will take place. So mind must be ready for it. And also you must be desirous of knowledge. So that is what has been told in the Shastra. Anyway, so you must be desirous of knowledge, not out of curiosity. See, there are two types of people who approach Vedanta. One person who approaches Vedanta, he is clear that knowledge liberates. Knowledge gives me moksha, and so in order to gain moksha, he approaches Vedanta. Other person approaches Vedanta with intention. Let me explore what Vedanta says. He is a different kind of a person. Let me explore. This is his intention. Let me explore what Vedanta says. Well, he is not a adhikari, basically. He is not adhikari. And I have heard that Vedanta gives moksha. I want to explore it. Well, that's a different kind of a person. But the person who approaches Vedanta knowing for sure that knowledge liberates, and therefore the pramana is a Upanishad. Tantu aupanishadam purusham pruchhami. Aupanishadam purusham pruchhami. I am asking about the Purusha Atma, well, which is Aupanishadam. Upanishad ekmatra gamyam, which is only known through the Upanishad. That person is a real mumukshu. That is called in Sadhan Chatushraya Sampatti as a mumukshutva. This person is the real adhikari for the mumukshu. He approaches Vedanta with a knowing for sure that Vedanta, the knowledge of the Vedanta, well, of course, this Atmajnanam alone liberates. And the other person who wants to explore Vedanta, he is not adhikari at all. Anyway, this is what is required, and mind should be prepared for it. And that kind of a mind is accomplished by Karma Yoga. Now, when we, of course, discussed this Karma Yoga a little bit, and you can choose a lifestyle of Karma Yoga, performing karma with that prayerful attitude, as I said, or you can choose a life of renunciation involving only Sankhya, knowledge. Now, Sankhya and Sannyasa, as I told you, they go together, because since Sannyasa is taken for the sake of pursuing knowledge to the exclusion of any other activity, and therefore Sankhya and Sannyasa are considered identical. So even though they mention Sankhyas, we have to take it is a lifestyle of a sannyasi in order to pursue knowledge, to achieve moksha. And the other people are these people who perform karma with a certain attitude, prayerful attitude. Well, they also want moksha. They are also seeking knowledge. But of course, they are in a process of making their mind adult, etc. So this is what is, two lifestyles are there. So one should not have that kind of a notion that just by someone becomes a sannyasi, he is going to be enlightened. No, that's not going to happen. A sannyasi also has to gain knowledge, and sometimes he has to do some karmas also, honestly speaking. Let me tell you, there are certain nitya karmas to be performed by sannyasis also. That is called karma yoga. Karma yoga means you perform with a prayerful attitude. Nitya karmas should be included in that. Panchamaha are there, so he doesn't do other kind of, but he has his own nitya karmas, which he is supposed to do. That will keep him on the track of the knowledge, the pratyavaya will not be generated. If pratyavaya is generated, then obstruction will come, definitely. And therefore, in order to keep the pratyavaya away, so the sannyasis also do some nitya karmas daily. They have some japa, they have some bhashya parayana and other things are there. Or sannyasi sometime, they employ some of the angas of Ashtanga Yoga also. Well, then may not be up to samadhi or maybe up to samadhi. Let it be like that. But ultimately, even if he is pursuing Ashtanga Yoga, etc., it is in the for the sake of, it should be included in Karma Yoga only. And this is about sannyasi, and then Karma Yoga also, he feels that I am doing this kind of karma with a prayerful attitude and Bhagavan will liberate me. That is not going to happen. So he also has to, he needs to gain knowledge. So knowledge is common for both, and knowledge only liberates, and for which one requires a mind that has been made ready by this yoga or karma yoga. Even if we say here yoga, it should be understood as a karma yoga. So this is how the thing is. Now here in this verse, it is said vyavasaya. Vyavasaya means a nishchaya. Nishchaya means here it is called clarity, with reference to what I seek and how I am going to go about gaining that moksha here, in fact. So and vyavasayatmika buddhi means the nishchaya or the clarity, that is in the mind, which is eka, that is single pointed. Once you gain a clarity that I want a moksha, then the mind becomes single pointed, focused. And that is because now we'll explore how this is possible. So there is only one goal, moksha in the form of a jnana. When that is clear, that is called eka buddhi. So it's a single pointedness. Now there are not many options available. If that is not clear, you have many options. In terms of other purusharthas. So there are many options, and there are variations also. But so far as if you become clear that all the purusharthas resolve into moksha, not that it is not like this that the artha kama, dharma and moksha, he has chosen moksha. It is not that. It's a resolution in his mind that actually there is no artha purushartha, but there is a moksha purushartha. There is no kama purushartha, but moksha purushartha. There is no dharma purushartha, but moksha purushartha. Purushartha is just moksha. That is the freedom. And that freedom is attained only by knowledge. This is the clarity. If that is there, then he doesn't have any option. In his mind, he is not confused at all. If that is not clear, one will have many options, many ends in life, many ends, and varied also, several types, and in terms of number also many. So that's how Bhagavan says bahushakhaha anantaha. Bahushakhaha means varieties of the shakha, means so many ways of going, and in terms of number also there are many. So for this person, definitely vyavasayatmika buddhi means he is very clear. What I want in my life is just moksha. There are four purusharthas is simply it's a brahma. It is a delusion. There are four purusharthas. There is a single purushartha called moksha. If you don't know about what is moksha, then you have many options in terms of purushartha. But when you have gained a clarity what is moksha, then definitely all other purusharthas are consumed. He does not have that kind of a in mind. Now should I choose artha or moksha? That has gone. Why? Because he knows that there is no artha purushartha at all. I will be discussing this thing. And there is only moksha. So the goal, the end is clear. And itself, and it's a very big accomplishment. It requires a great punyam. Then only you gain a direction, Once your mind becomes single pointed, what I want in my life as an end is moksha, and the means is this knowledge. If that becomes clear, you gain a direction, and you will put all your efforts into it, and then you will be successful too. I mean, you will gain moksha. And otherwise, if that is not clear, in our life, whatever comes, that will become a priority in our life. Everything will look important. Everything. Money is also important. That is important. Name is important. Children are also important. That's what people tell also. Swami, I spend a lot of time for the study of all this, and I have a confusion that whether am I doing a right thing or not, because I have a family, and of course I am earning. But should I spend time with them, with the children and all that, or should I study, or what should I do? This kind of a thing. Now today he is talking about the family. Yeah, one option. Tomorrow he will say some other option. So I have I have a job now. Now this job I am going to change, and I am getting a new job. And I want to continue the study, but it would not be possible. The job hours, timings are different, and it is very far. I may not be able to attend the class, that. Now what should I do? Many options will open. Many options will open. And every option will be as important as the moksha. That's a confusion. It's a great confusion. Because if it is as important and moksha means everything in your mind is a priority, then everything is a priority, then what will you do? Anything which appears as a priority will go behind. And then you find this also is, I'm lagging behind in now this study, etc. I did a mistake of, choosing that job. I would not have gone. I was actually happy here. I don't know why did I choose that, etc. And this kind of things goes on. Bahushakhaha anantaha. So it is not that one should not run a family or one should not do the job. That's not the criteria. Criteria is everything gains the same importance in our mind, or there is a difference in the priority. That's all it means. That's all. So that becomes clear only when you realize that there is a single purushartha for a human being. Whether person knows it or not, need not be. I am not saying one should know that moksha is a goal. Even he doesn't know. In my mind it should be clear. Whether one knows or one doesn't know. One is exposed to the scriptures or doesn't get exposure. Human being has a single goal. That is called moksha. And the knowledge alone is the solution. It's a very, very big thing. Very big thing. It requires definitely a great punya. And we'll be discussing partly what it means, all this. So, let's talk about now Purushartha. Of course, I have discussed at other place, but then, okay, we'll discuss partly that there is, moksha is the only Purushartha in our life, and knowledge alone is the means to gain moksha. There is no other Purushartha. Let us try to make it clear together. See, first ask the question, am I really seeking a security, or am I seeking the freedom from insecurity? This is what we will have to be clear. Am I seeking really a security, or am I seeking a freedom from insecurity? Well, if you seek the security, the objects of security, those are called crutches, right? All these are called crutches. And actually nobody wants crutches. Just ask the question, who is the person who wants crutches? Let us ask this question. Who is the person who wants crutches? Well, the one who cannot stand on his own legs wants crutches. So as long as I am insecure on my own legs, as long as I am insecure on my legs, I want crutches, right? Crutches, you know very well, crutches. So then I need crutches. But the one who is secure definitely does not need them. And definitely. So the more you need crutches, the more insecure I feel. What are the crutches, Swamiji? The securities are called crutches. Well, those crutches are many. Finances are crutches. Name is a crutch. And then fame also is a crutch. Power is a crutch. Community is a crutch. I mean, I want to become a member of a so-and-so community, also is a crutch, so that I feel good, and otherwise I feel insecure. I have always, people want to associate with some groups, especially when people are, going to retire or something, they always want to become a part of some group. In order to, it's just a crutch for that, the sense of insecurity I'm feeling. So in order to feel good, in order to feel little security, I should be the part of the group. And sometimes it happens that the children are, serving somewhere else, and they are not there, and we feel lonely and more insecure than we become. This is all just, I'm talking in general. I'm not talking, nobody should feel here, or whoever is present in front of me, nobody should feel that I am addressing to so and so person. That is not the job of any teacher, and so I'm trying to make it clear. This is a general thing we observe. And so these are all crutches. To become a part of a group or community also is a crutch. So when we seek security, that's sure that we feel insecure, and well, there is nothing wrong in it. And because basically I am a self-conscious being, and I know the self is insecure, and so there are definite reasons for feeling the sense of insecurity also, but they seem valid according to this person. Now we should understand that basically it is important to understand that I am not really seeking the security. I cannot stand being insecure, and that's why I am taking help of the objects of security. Because on my own legs I am feeling insecure. If I am not feeling insecure on my legs, I won't take those crutches. No one wants crutches. That's how, even this is a Pujya Swamiji's word, crutches. Because why Swamiji is using the word crutches? Because no one likes crutches. Whenever a person gets some fracture or something, and then he starts walking after an operation and everything, he gets up from the bed and starts walking, and then he is given those crutches, and he is daily praying that when will I become free from these crutches? When will I become free from the crutches? And sometime he starts walking without that also. And then the people in the family, they start shouting that you will fall down, you will fall down. And then they take up. But daily he is praying that I want to give it up. I want to give it. Even a simple stick also he doesn't want. I know for sure, even certain Swamis also they don't want. In public they don't want this kind of a stick. Because no, I can walk without that kind of a stick. So no one wants. But since I'm feeling insecure on my legs, I have to use. That means what? Basically, since I cannot stand, being insecure, definitely I seek those kind of objects for security. Basically, I am seeking freedom from the insecurity. Then when I am seeking freedom from the insecurity, then should I seek security or should I question whether I am insecure or not? That's the question. If I am feeling insecure, if I want a freedom from insecurity, really speaking, then should I just seek crutches, that is security, or should I ask a question that why am I feeling insecure? Why am I insecure? Not feeling, forget about it. Why am I insecure? That's a question Vedanta tells us to ask to ourselves. Definitely. So when you seek security, you are taking yourself for granted as someone who is insecure. You have concluded that you are insecure. That's all. And then you ask for the crutches. You are seeking security. And how real is the conclusion? That's the thing we have to see. So what are the reasons for it? Why I am feeling that I am insecure? Well, am I really insecure, or is something else insecure which I take to be myself and then I feel insecure? Could you follow what I am saying? Am I really insecure, or is something else is insecure and which I take it as myself and then feel insecure? I may not be really insecure, but something else is insecure which I take as Atma and then feel insecure. If Atma is basically the body, then definitely Atma is insecure because the body is insecure. And it is subject to every virus. Body is subject to every virus. And definitely it is subject to age, subject to time, subject to... it is going to join the majority, dead one. And so, this body basically, if Atma is as good as the body, then it is subject to time, aging and illness, etc. And therefore you are insecure. So basically, if you are not subject to all these things, but you think that you are subject to all these things because of the identification with the body, in your awareness, the Atma or the yourself is nothing but the body, then in that case, the insecurity is bound to be there. You take Atma as body, and the body is definitely insecure in terms of illness, in terms of aging, in terms of time, and therefore you feel insecure. So if you are not subject to all this, and think that you are subject to all this time and illness and everything, it is a confusion. You are not basically, we have now seen very clearly all this. Atma is free from the time, Atma is timeless. Atma is not subject to aging, Atma is not subject to illness, etc. But if you take that is body is subject to all this, but you take yourself to be like this, then definitely centered on yourself, centered on oneself, centered on Atma, centered on self, one feels insecure. One is not insecure, one feels insecure because of this. And that is confusion. That's a self-confusion. That is born of self-ignorance. And with a proper inquiry, of course, with the knowledge as we have discussed, with the help of this self-knowledge, one resolves this confusion. That I am not subject to illness, I am not subject to time, I am not subject to aging, etc. And therefore, I am really, I am not insecure, definitely. And therefore, if we inquire into like this, then definitely once you arrive at that I am not insecure, then definitely you will not search for those crutches of security. Once you know that on your legs you can stand, you are not insecure, you can stand on your legs, definitely you don't need crutches. So this security, what we generally call as a artha purushartha, but basically security is not the purushartha. Freedom from insecurity is the purushartha. Could you follow now? Seeking security is not the purushartha. Freedom from the insecure. Since I am feeling insecure, I am in search of this security. Otherwise, I would not. But the basical this is a self-confusion, that I am insecure is a self-confusion on account of taking the Atma as the body. And therefore, definitely, the freedom from insecurity is the Purushartha. Seeking security is not the Purushartha. And therefore, between Artha and what is called Moksha. Why Moksha? What is Moksha here? Freedom. Freedom from insecurity. That freedom is Moksha. So between Artha, means seeking security, and Moksha, means the freedom from insecurity, what is the Purushartha? Really speaking, Moksha is the Purushartha. If you are secure, you are not going to search for the objects of security. And therefore, basically freedom from insecurity is the Purushartha. That's called Moksha. Is a Purushartha. Moksha from insecurity. Freedom means Moksha. Freedom from what? Freedom from insecurity. Means Moksha from insecurity. That is Moksha Purushartha alone. And other one is Artha. Artha means seeking security. And that is not the Purushartha. Really speaking, Moksha alone is the Purushartha. So, in these four Purusharthas, Well, definitely, we have decided between Artha and Moksha, the Moksha is a really Purushartha for everyone. Because whoever is born in this universe, I mean in this world, definitely is born with the identification with the body, born with the self-ignorance, taking Atma as just the body, and body is insecure, body is time-bound, body is subject to aging, body is subject to illness, and therefore, if you take like this, but if I take Swamiji, that's also phenomena, no? I have taken that way. So now then, is it not so that I am just the body? No, no, sir. That's your purely notion born of self-ignorance. Anything which is born of self-ignorance is a notional thing. It's not a reality. And therefore, basically, you should know yourself that you are free from this body, etc. Means you are distinct from the body. Well, that is then, even in terms of Purushartha, if you know this, for you, now only between the two, you have a one Purushartha, that is moksha, that is freedom from the insecurity. You don't have a Purushartha called gaining securities. No. Gaining security is not a Purushartha for you, because and gaining securities more and more, I mean collecting more and more crutches, you are not happy. Not only that, I have not added other things, but gaining securities on and on, wherever you are searching a security, so-called, I mean in a wealth or name or fame, etc., those things alone make you more insecure, in fact. Suppose one acquires for the sake of security, the wealth itself becomes a source of insecurity. And name, fame, etc., you and me will not bother too much about, losing name, etc. But the one who has a big name and fame, they are very, very cautious, very cautious. Anywhere their name is connected to something which is not good, well, they feel so insecure that they will lose the name. And that is how it is. That's how we call them crutches. Without crutches, you feel more insecure. So basically, one wants, say, freedom from insecurity. And that's a Purushartha. Freedom is a Purushartha, not gaining security. Freedom means a moksha. Well, and freedom from insecurity is a Purushartha. And so, basically, we don't have two Purusharthas, two are reduced to one. Artha has been consumed into moksha. Artha has been, not moksha is consumed in artha, artha is consumed into moksha. Then, now, let's take another pair, kama and moksha. Pleasure, right? Kama means pleasure, and pleasure means all conducive situations wherein you can tap some happiness for yourself. So, what does it mean? Basically, I am an unhappy person, and so naturally I am seeking happiness. This is another thing, another problem. I am insecure, and therefore I was searching a security. Same way here, I am an unhappy person, and therefore I am seeking happiness. But frankly speaking, I am not seeking happiness, honestly. It is not the happiness that I want. I want to be a happy person. I am not in search of happiness. I will explain. I am not in search of happiness. I want to be a happy person. Because happiness, if I am in search of happiness, means happiness is an object. Like you say, Swamiji, I am in search of a good car. Well, like that I am in search of happiness. So then happiness becomes an object. And if there is an object called happiness, well, let's all go together. Let's forget about this, pandemic situation and lockdown. First, let us make a beeline and get that object of happiness. And well, we don't find that. Where is it available? That itself is a question. I will show you where is available this object called happiness. Anyway, so no particular situation. Of course, we have discussed all these things. I am trying to remind you. No particular situation, no particular time, no particular place. You can call it as a happiness, definitely. So there is no such object in the world. And so that's how we say, I am not seeking happiness. What I am seeking is the happy self, happy person. Understand, this is a very big difference. I am seeking happiness, one thing. I am seeking a happy self, happy person is another thing. Altogether, it's a different thing. Well, and you see this when person goes to beach. That's an example. A person goes to beach in search of happiness, and the other person leaves the beach in search of happiness. One goes to the mountain, very hurriedly goes to the mountain in search of happiness, and at the same time other is coming down of the mountain hurriedly in search of happiness. And the best example of Puja Swami's example I remember, just stand on the crossroads and you will find one person from the eastern direction in the morning drives a car and going to the west in search of happiness. And at the same time in the morning, from western direction, one person starts and goes to the east in search of happiness. Well, if happiness is an object available at a particular place, then it should be available either in the east or either in the west, not in the opposite direction at the same time. If the person in the west, going towards the east in search of happiness, he thinks that the happiness is there in the east, then why the heaven, the person from the west, from the east should start and go to the west? Why should he do that? Because happiness is available in the east and he stays in the east. He should not go anywhere else. People go in opposite direction. If you stand on the crossroads in the morning, you find they are going so hurried, as if somebody may take away that object of happiness. People are going like that way. It's not so. Anyway, that basically it is not an object. We have done it thoroughly, the analysis, and so I'm taking it that you know it very well. So basically it is clear that nobody seeks happiness. That itself, the Kama Purushartha has gone now. But anyway, nobody seeks happiness because it is neither in the east, neither in the west, neither in the north, south, neither up nor below. All that one wants to be the happy self. And to be the happy self, well, one goes to the mountain and one goes to the beach, or one leaves the beach, one comes down of the mountain, one goes in the east in order to search a happy self. Now you understand very well. If I am in search of a happy self, the self should be available outside or a self should be available here itself. A happy self, suppose so-called a happy self is available in the east and I will go and embrace it. Then it is what I embrace is self or is a non-self? It's a non-self. It's a non-self. So, but in order to search the happy self, one goes in the world, moves around, and that's a notion that someday I will come across the happy self. Someday I will come across the happy self. You can understand what an amount of confusion we have. So all the time one is seeking the happy self. So when the question is, when you are seeking the happy self, what kind of a self do you have right now? That's the question. You are seeking happy self. Okay, then what kind of a self right now you have? Oh, it's simple. I am unhappy self. It's not true. It's not true. Why it's not true? If I am unhappy self, then I seek happy self? No, because positively you are not unhappy all the time. I don't find so. I don't find a person all the day unhappy self. No, it's not so. It's not so. Positively, a person is not unhappy all the time. But therefore, we have to say, I am not happy self. I would not say I am unhappy self, but I should say I am not happy self. There is always some discomfort within, all the time. That remains. Some uneasiness all the time remains. Only few people notice it. Most of the people take it for granted, that uneasiness. All the time. Swamiji, all is not well with me. That's the thing. All is not well with me. And that too, when you I ask you, well, then you start, oh, this is good, that is good, my child is, and okay, I'm retired and I have enough pension, this, that, and but Swami, but that's all. Then it starts. So what I'm saying is, not it is all the time you are so unhappy and therefore you are searching a happy self. But a not happy self is a Shruti. Is a Shruti. Do you remember Swamiji's word Shruti? That keeps going all the time. Not happy self. How can you say, Swamiji, that in order to prove your point, you are, all the time saying like that, thinking that we will believe you? No. I don't want that you believe me. I don't want. What I am saying is, you can find the difference. You can find yourself the difference between the two self. A moment of joy and this, you will find the difference. In a moment of joy, you accept yourself totally. Totally. No complaint whatsoever. In other moments, you may not be positively unhappy, but some complaint is there, some uneasiness is there. Even that uneasiness gets dropped in a moment of joy. That's what I mean between the two self. This not happy self is this kind of a self. Totally acceptance of a self is not there. Total acceptance. If a person accepts totally, even without knowing oneself with a clarity, what Vedanta establishes, I feel one need not study. One need not study Vedanta. If you can accept yourself totally, whatever you are, total acceptance, total satisfaction with yourself. Atmani eva atmana tushta. You cannot accept, sir. Because whenever you are aware of yourself, in your awareness, you are a limited being. And that limited being, that limitations, always person keeps it keeps a person with a little discomfort, little uneasiness all the time. That alone manifests with a unhappiness more, that's a different thing. But as a basic person, because of the self-ignorance and self-confusion, you always see yourself as a limited self, and which you cannot accept, because that's not your nature. What is not your nature, you will not accept. Whatever the conditions you create in your mind may be helpful for a time being. You may explain, or psychologists may explain you, or anyone can explain you. They will give you some kind of a positive thinking. Look, this person, and look yourself. See, you are much, much better. He has one eye, you have two eyes. This kind of a thing. And you have both the ears, he is deaf at one ear, something. Look at that. This person, you have two cars, he has one car. Puja Swami, condemns all these things. Positive thinking. It doesn't help. To an extent, it is okay. You accept yourself. Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, I'm fortunate. It doesn't go long. Because basically, this non-self is taken as a self. And it will not allow you to be totally at peace, In the moment of joy, you forget yourself. So-called limited self, which, it is a non-self, but you have taken it as a self, even you forget that thing also. And then definitely you don't have any limitation in the moment of joy. So that is the reality of me. And other than that, when the moment of joy is over, or it has not arrived, at other time you have a general discomfort with yourself. That is what I mean. And if I am searching a happy self, is that self which is available in the moment of joy. And in other time, what kind of a self I am having? This I am not happy self is there. So really, are you seeking the happy self, or are you seeking the freedom from not happy self? Tell me. Since in my awareness, basically I am not happy self, Therefore, I am searching happy self in different situations, in different time, different places. And I reaching that point, well, a particular time, or I reaching to a particular place, or reaching to a particular situation. Well, that the notion regarding me that I am not happy self gets dropped. That gets dropped. And then you feel that happy self cannot be from outside. You only yourself, who is happiness by nature, manifest. Could you follow? And therefore the Purushartha is not in seeking happiness, seeking kama. Basically the Purushartha is freedom from that not happy self. I want to become free from this not happy self, limited self. Limited self. So if you are seeking freedom from the not happy self, now tell me how many Purusharthas are there? Kama and moksha. Two Purusharthas there or one is there? Only one. Basically I am searching a freedom. Freedom from not happy self. Freedom from insecure self. I am seeking, and basically, so there is no artha Purushartha, there is no kama Purushartha. Basically I am seeking freedom. Freedom from insecurity, freedom from insecure self, freedom from not happy self. That is the Purushartha. Artha and kama both end up in moksha. This is how we are seeing third Purushartha, dharma and moksha. Now, because all we have to resolve into moksha, that should be the clarity. And then that is the end. Then what are the means? Then knowledge is a mean. Well, then you become single pointed. That's how it is. That is called Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. So we are right now in the process of getting a Vyavasayatmika. Swamiji, we have, you need not tell. That's a different thing, but I am telling for my own sake. Okay, so take it for granted right now. Listen me, whatever I am saying. This is to be analyzed again and again. To be honest with you, even though we say that we are pursuing moksha and we are pursuing knowledge, etc., but if we examine our life honestly, we will find sometime other than moksha and jnanam, something else props up as a priority. And that today that is a priority. Tomorrow something else also props up as a priority. Something else props up as a priority. And that was there all the time. And that is why there is a confusion. There is all the time confusion. That's how Bhagavan says, Vyavasayatmika eka buddhi. There is a single pointedness with reference to this clarity. Clarity of end and means, both. Other than that is avyavasayatmika, that is bahushakha, ananta, etc., etc. That you can automatically will come to know. Other than that means there are many. How many pursuits people have? You just ask to any person around you. Any person. A single person, even if you ask, he will say he has many goals and many ends to achieve those goals. Anyway, so there is someone who says, well, I want to go to heaven. Now we are discussing dharma and moksha. And therefore I want to have a punyam. And basically, why you want to go to heaven? If you ask that person, that will again end up in this, in search of security, better pleasures. That's all. Better pleasures, nothing else. Or at the most, they will say, I want to be perfect. So this body is imperfect. If I reach in heaven, I become a devata, etc., I become perfect. But ultimately, he is in search of a perfection, even by going to heaven. And for that, he is having a purushartha called dharma, punyam. So he wants to become a devata, etc. Well, in order to, everyone knows devatas are called amaraha, immortals. So he wants to become freedom from insecurity. Human life is definitely for few years. You are time bound. And you feel that if you become a devata, you can live for a long. And that's just living long is not good. That's basically shrapam. But you will get all pleasures, celestial pleasures. That's what I got. So again, security and pleasures. Again, same thing. Dharma is nothing but a modified version of artha and kama. That's all. Modified version of artha and kama. No, Swamiji, you don't know. You only have talked in Bhagavad Gita class. Dharma is a purushartha for a human being, and only Hindu Sanatan Dharma, this particular purushartha has been told. And there you have told Dharma means a growth, growing the person, becoming mature, which is very close to moksha, and all that you only have told. So in Dharma and moksha, definitely there are two purusharthas are there. Dharma only can bring very close to the moksha. Only these are your words, Swamiji. Yeah, correct. But even if you grow, your sense of insecurity won't go unless you definitely gain Atmajnana. Even if you grow, the sense of insecurity, the sense of unhappiness, sorrow, uneasiness will not go. Will not go. Basically, you may become free from certain conflicts, but the sense of imperfection centered on the self cannot go. And that will always bring the uneasiness. So far as in your eye you are limited, that uneasiness cannot go. Cannot go. It's not possible. Inasmuch as that is not your nature. And if it is not your nature, and that's how you always want to drive away imperfection. And imperfection, wherever you go, a imperfect being goes from this loka to other loka called heaven, will remain imperfect. Imperfection, and you understand here itself. Let's forget about heaven for a time being. Here itself, you and me are living with a certain amenities. And other person is living, let's say some millionaire is living with a lot of facilities, lot of pleasures and etc. But imperfection is continued. Imperfection is imperfection alone. It's not that so and so millionaire is very near to perfection, Swamiji, and we are very far from the perfection. It's not the distance between a limitation and the limitless is limitless. The distance between limitation and limitless is limitless. This is that's what no Swamiji, limitations, if you cover up the limitations and then definitely one day you will be very close to limitless. That limitlessness is a limited thing. If you can reach that way, then it is not limitless, it is a limitation. It's a limited thing only. And therefore the distance between the limited and limitless is always limitless. And that's how you feel the sense of limitations, sense of uneasiness, and that discomfort. The same amount, same kind of a discomfort he is also feeling, perhaps more than you. So it's not like that he is very close to the now limitless, close to the perfection. We are very far from this perfection or limitless. It's not never so. Because he is also in search of the same perfection, and he is more restless compared to you and me. He is more restless. So, well, definitely, and therefore, either you be here or either you go there. It is same thing. A imperfect being from here goes to there, remains imperfect only. And so, nothing will make me perfect. Please understand this. Nothing will. If I am imperfect, how will I become perfect? Well, no chance. Let's say people do plastic surgery, right? Because my nose is imperfect, my cheeks are imperfect, or lips are imperfect, or something else. This hair is not there, imperfect, and you do all these things. You make up. That's how they call makeup. So you make up everything. After makeup also, you remain the same imperfect fellow. Same imperfect. No difference. You may become happy. You may find some moments of joy in between. When somebody says, oh, you look different now. No, you look different. Yeah. Earlier, this you would have done it before. So you feel little happy. But same imperfection continues. So basically nothing will make me perfect. Even if I go to heaven, the imperfect person goes to the heaven. So I am bound to be disappointed. So wherever the imperfect person goes, he or she finds imperfection all the time. And therefore, basically, I am not seeking perfection. It itself is a very silly thing. I am seeking freedom from imperfection. That is my goal. And then dharma also cannot help. Dharma can make you grow, but still you remain imperfect. Dharma can make you, dharma in terms of punya can make you reach heaven, etc. Still you remain imperfect. Same, maybe your complaints about yourself may be little different, but no difference at all. So between dharma and moksha also, seeking perfection through dharma, through punya, etc. Well, compared to that, you should say, I am seeking freedom from imperfection. In order to be free from the imperfection, the sense of imperfection centered on the self, you are seeking perfection in other worlds. On other worlds. Thinking that if I reach there, well, I will become perfect. It's not so. Perfection, if it is there all the time. If it is not there, the search should be dropped. Search should be dropped. Can I drop the search for perfection or limitlessness? You cannot drop. We'll see that. Anyway, so except for dharma as a growth, which can be purushartha, well, everything else looks like a purushartha, but ultimately, as I told you, even dharma also, even though dharma makes you grow a lot of, but still you feel a limited, a wanting being. And so freedom from limitation, freedom from insecurity, and freedom from being unhappy is the purushartha, and therefore moksha alone is a purushartha. Artha, kama, dharma, they themselves are not purushartha. And so even though everybody is seeking moksha, they don't know this. They are seeking moksha because there is a confusion centered on the self. Now we'll have to see further. We'll see on Monday that knowledge alone will resolve this confusion. I mean, to achieve moksha, there is only one way, and that is to know oneself. And that is there means in your mind there is a eka buddhi. There is a single pointedness. Buddhi is a mind. And in that mind there is eka means a single pointedness. With respect to iha, with respect to, Bhagavan says iha. Iha means asmin vishay, moksha vishay, vyavasayatmika, clarity. Moksha vishay, you have a clarity that there is no other purushartha, whether one knows or one doesn't know. One comes to this Vedanta in this life or other life, any time. If one comes to Vedanta, gets exposure or not, you have resolved in your mind that it's not that I have a moksha purushartha and my family members, who are not exposed to this, they have other purushartha. No. That's not the clarity. That's not the clarity. Clarity is there is no other purushartha other than moksha. And knowledge alone is the means. That is what it means. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.